Caves have been explored for centuries, but some hold secrets that should never be uncovered. Williamson Cave was considered safe, an easy destination for beginner explorers. No real danger, no confusing labyrinths, no hidden threats, until someone found something they shouldn't have. A new entrance, a passage that wasn't on any map. Two explorers ventured beyond where anyone had ever gone before. What they found defied logic and tested their very survival. But some places do not wish to be discovered, and those who enter may never return. Join us in this story of exploration, mystery, and terror. Williamson Cave was not a difficult cave, at least not compared to many others. It had no complex twists, was stable, and presented no risks like standing water or dangerous gases. It was, in essence, a beginner's cave. However, what made it interesting was a recent discovery, an opening that had not yet been mapped. An explorer had found it days earlier, and upon sharing the news, he sparked the excitement of a fellow adventurer. The thought of stepping into territory never before seen by human eyes was tempting. So, with all their equipment checked and ready, they planned to set out at first light. The cave lay beyond a short walk, surrounded by dense woods. The entrance was easy to find, a pitch-black void that seemed to swallow all light. The crisp outside air was quickly replaced by the thick, cold atmosphere within as they stepped inside. Moving forward with confidence, guided by the map and their experience, they pressed on. The initial path was wide, though it soon narrowed into a tight crawl space. It was there that one of them suddenly stopped, turning his head as if he had heard something. But there was nothing. Perhaps just an echo or a trick of the mind. They continued until they reached the drop, where an old rope dangled from the rock. For safety, they used their own and descended without issue. Ahead of them, the unknown opening awaited. It didn't look like the result of a collapse. There was no loose rock. It was just there, as if it had always existed, but no one had noticed. Without hesitation, they crawled through the narrow tunnel and emerged on the other side. The chamber they entered was breathtaking. The walls shimmered with crystals and minerals, glowing under their lights as if illuminated from within. A stream of clear water ran silently through the center. It was so mesmerizing that they barely noticed the change in the air, thicker, quieter, almost suffocating. One of them, feeling thirsty, knelt beside the stream. He brought the water to his lips, but as soon as he touched it, a strange tingling spread through his hands. Something wasn't right. Then his companion called his attention to another passage just ahead. They hadn't seen it before. Excited, the first explorer rushed inside without hesitation. His voice echoed strangely when he shouted that there were even more gems and fresh water to drink. But something about his tone was wrong. Something his companion immediately noticed. When he called for him to come back, there was no response. Concerned, he crawled after him into the dark passage. He found him motionless, and when he reached out to touch him, he realized something horrifying. Only his legs remained, cut cleanly with no trace of the rest of his body. Fear paralyzed him for a moment before he tried to retreat, but the water had touched his skin. His limbs began to go numb. He could barely move. From the darkness, a familiar voice called his name. It was his companion, or at least something that sounded like him. It promised him an escape, a way to the surface. All he had to do was go through another tunnel that hadn't been there before. But he didn't move. He knew better than to trust that voice. They found him hours later, barely conscious. His skin was covered in rashes, his limbs swollen and cold. Before they carried him out of the cave, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Two rescuers, captivated by the stream, drinking from its crystal clear waters. And behind them, a new tunnel, one that hadn't been there before.